Hey, get out your magnifying glass and become a disease detective. We're going to go into the war room right now and be updated on Ebola.
This was a sobering day in the battle against the Ebola outbreak as
Notice the reflection of the word war room as it comes across a glass desk, a reflected reality.
death toll climbed. The first patient diagnosed in the United States died, and plans for screening ramped up at major American airports. The CDC is at the center of the government's response, both here and abroad. Special correspondent Kathleen McCleary got an inside look at how the agency is tackling the job.
CDC Emergency Operations Center. This line is being reported. Watch Officer Baker speaking.
The Emergency Operations Center at CDC headquarters in Atlanta never sleeps. A quiet hum belies the frenzy of activity here.
Just remember, it's under 2014 Ebola International.
This is the nerve center for the effort to contain and control.
Someone in a costume. I don't even really think it's a lady. It's a costume.
The Ebola virus. CDC Director Dr. Thomas Frieden.
Here comes an expert.
We work to protect Americans.
Look at him snickering.
Boots on the ground in every state in 50 countries around the world. We do that by the top quality science and scientists, and we do that by action.
We are the watch team.
Oh, we are the watch team. Look at that face. Look at that smile. We are the watch team. We're going to watch the world for viruses. Oh, he's excited to be on camera.
We're basically like the CDC's 911.
911 code. 911 code. 911 code. Transforming the whole world by diseases that are fake.
He's the watch station, which gets calls from the public, the media, and health officials.
They're seeking information on what to do with their patients. They're seeking information on waste disposal. They're also seeking information on protocols in the event that they do receive an Ebola patient.
The questions are fielded by others, about 150 in all, who work in this high-tech hub. Plasma screens display giant maps pinpointing places the virus has been found, and areas where even more...
Okay, they're going to find viruses in very obscure locations, making it very difficult for you to verify, but they're certain of it. This Ebola came from the Democratic Republic of Congo.
More CDC staff have been deployed.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the show. It's the Ebola show.
It's day 90 of the EOC activation.
Top managers meet daily to exchange updates on the number of cases and the global response.
More costumes. It looks like a war room, doesn't it? Hey, this is war.
Dr. Barbara Mann attends that meeting. Her team is monitoring the Texas investigation into the first case diagnosed in the U.S. and tracking people who may have been in contact with Thomas Duncan.
Oh, look at the green. Look at the yellow. Hey, look at those suits. I got one here. I'm the virus police. Ah, the ladder. Hey, look at the ladder. Jacob's ladder. And I don't mean a way of in the Bible per se, but in the way of the Kabbalah. Get on that ladder. Climb it. It never ends. It will never end. You will be climbing the ladder the rest of your life unless you wake up.
For serious missteps in Dallas, the CDC and others faced a flurry of criticism, including the hospital's response when Duncan arrived.
I guess the way I look at it is that preparedness is really a process. It's not a state or an activity.
Look at that smile. Did you see it? Did you see it? She was smiling because it's all BS.
It's a process and it's a state of mind. And
state of mind. There you are. What's your state of mind right now? Are you thinking the guy's making this video is nuts? Well, not really. Everybody's nuts for believing these people.
So what we need to do in this situation is to learn everything we can from those bumps in the road to try to make it go better. If hopefully there won't be, but if there is another case.
The CDC's attention goes well beyond the U.S. border. The Global Migration Group focuses on air and sea travel.
Global migration. Oh, those viruses migrate like birds. They go from the extreme points of the world right into your hometown and right into your mind. There's another corny costume. These are all corny people. Everything is BS, but they look official. It looks credible, doesn't it? It's the media creation. It's called creation of panic, creation of fear, the manufacture of. You got to go way back in time and study someone like Lippmann, who talks about the manufacture of consent. They can manufacture it with the media, whatever it is. Look at them laughing and joking there. Look at the one on your left. Look at the smile. They know they're on camera. They know this is going to be broadcast.
Including outreach to passengers. The group's leader is Dr. Marty Cetron.
The most important thing that we're trying to do is help fill in a gap between the public health sector and the transportation sector in terms of readiness. Our job is to train people how to ask questions about...
Okay, did you see her nod her head? That's you. You just nodded your head. You approved. You accepted. You received it. It went into your head because she nodded her head.
Symptoms, how to ask questions about exposure and risk, whether they had contact with an Ebola case, and how to measure objectively in a safe way temperatures of people who are intending to leave, identify those people, and move them out and prevent sick people from getting on airplanes that could potentially spread.
Are you focusing mostly on Liberia or
all of the heavily affected countries?
Epidemiologist Amy Summers is a disease detective, just back from Liberia.
Wow, wait a minute. Get out your magnifying glass. She's a disease detective. Oh my. Come on, Sherlock. Come on, Mrs. Sherlock. Why don't you join them and be a disease detective? Oh, Nancy Drew. Maybe that's her name. Nancy Drew.
More people have died there than in any other country. Summers helped find those who may have been exposed, a process called contact tracing.
Oh, look how happy they are. We're talking about people dying and a deadly disease. You can't even touch the corpse, and they're smiling and jovial, and it's so much fun to be in this center here, the disease center in Atlanta. It's so much fun. Why don't you try to get a job?
There are a lot of challenges in Liberia, and I think probably the most challenging part of it is that there's a lot of stigma attached to Ebola.
Look at the smile. Oh, it's a beautiful smile. Oh, you're talking about people dying and deaths and terror and fear, and she's so happy. She enjoys her work so much. Why? Because it's BS.
There, so people are basically running away because nobody wants to.
We're going to take you to a real live scene here. They're carrying out the trash, people. It's just simply the trash. Bottles, boxes, dirt. Oh, but you think there's a body in there because they have on white suits and gloves and masks. Oh, yeah, there's a body in there. Oh, hey, there's a camera looking right at them and nobody looks at it, eh? Nobody. How about that? I wonder why nobody looks at a camera and a camera crew, huh? Why not?
Associated with it. So there was one case that we
do it carefully now.
And by the time
wait a minute, let's get some testimonials.
Who were associated with that case?
Look at the people. Look at them. It's like a festival. Look at them. Do they look like somebody's dead? Or do they look like somebody said, we'll pay you some money to stand around and look like you're gawking at us bringing out a body? Come on, is this really death? Or is it a clown show? Look at the people standing there. Oh, they're weeping, right? Oh, they're weeping, sure. Oh, they're so concerned. That's you. That's me. That's any sucker that watches it.
Yeah.
Teams in West Africa process specimens to determine if patients have Ebola. Here in Atlanta, scientists are working on genetic sequencing.
Genetic sequencing? Oh, wow, that sounds really sophisticated, doesn't it? Well, that sounds to me like pseudo-science. You better be aware of something. Basically, everything has been shoved in your face as science is pseudo. False. It's nonsense.
See if the virus changes.
I worry when...
Oh, look at him. Look at him. He's worried. He said, I worry. There's the face of worry. Hey, I've seen the face of worry like that, haven't you? I've seen people around dead bodies of neighbors and friends, and they're jovial. Oh, well, look at that face. Take a good look at it, people. He's talking about death. He's talking about massive death. Oh, yeah. Sure. Come on now, let's hear some more.
Rational fears of Ebola, but there are rational fears as well. If you're a healthcare worker taking care of a patient with Ebola, you'd better be scared, and you'd better use that fear.
Okay, you better use that fear. You better use that fear. Stay in. Don't be around your neighbor. Don't go shopping. Don't have any groups gatherings. You better use that fear. False evidence appearing real. Fear, F-E-A-R. False evidence appearing real. See one of my other videos.
To make sure that you do absolutely everything right when you're caring for that patient.
Well, you can go over to the second piece here.
The CDC has sent scores of its...
There you are. Oh, she couldn't resist. She had to look at the camera. This is a big-time film. Big-time film for this individual. She had to look at the camera. Take a look at that face. That's like, oh, you're actually filming this? And I'm going to be a movie star? Maybe I'll go to Hollywood, huh? Maybe this is my start. Yes, it's my start. I'll get some big-time roles with some big-name actors.
Own staff to Africa, but many more are needed. That's why they're offering hands-on exercises like this one in Alabama earlier this week. 36 healthcare workers came to this rural spot to learn how to put on personal protective equipment.
You need to go to an education class to learn to put on a rain suit and gloves. It's a very difficult thing to do, you know.
Suits, masks, boots, and gloves. Dr. Michael Young, an influenza expert who has turned his focus to Ebola, put the curriculum together.
What we try to do is create a facility here that mimics any...
There you are! That's you! Hey, that's me! That's anybody watching their videos. We are the dummies. They're showing you. That's you. That's me. That's anybody that will watch them. Oh, look, they got the spray bottle there. That's a spray bottle for weed killer. It'll kill your mind if you believe all this nonsense.
Ebola treatment unit in West Africa. We're not trying to recreate a U.S. hospital where there's much higher levels of technology available, and we're not trying to recreate a general hospital in West Africa. It's a specific facility for caring for Ebola patients. What we ask our students to do is do a practical exercise, a hands-on exercise every day of the 3-day course. Today they did a simulated blood draw.
For Nurse Heather Bedlin, drawing blood is easy.
Yeah, let's draw some blood. We like blood.
But wearing heavy gear will make her job tougher when she leaves for Liberia this weekend.
You know, it's warm here. It's hot in West Africa. The goggles fogging, of course, that's a little bit of a challenge. It's a lot of a challenge. Being able to see, of course, is a big challenge. the dexterity of your hands to make sure that you draw labs, handle.
Heather, H-E, 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 Heather, oh Heather.
Any sort of fluid that can possibly infect you is most important, and making sure that you do that safely.
Captain Paul Reed will be in charge of clinical operations at the new hospital.
Hey, the more costume you get on, the more believable you are. Don't take that off. We want to believe you. Leave it on.
U.S. is building in Liberia. The Public Health Service doctor has been deployed to hotspots many times, but for the father of four, this assignment feels different.
My family's used to me traveling and being deployed for a number of different reasons over a long.
Did you see that smirk? Come on. Did you see the smirk? Paul Reed. Hey, maybe he's a descendant of Walter Reed. Walter Reed fame, huh? Paul Reed?
Long period of time, a 20-year career. This one has a little bit different flavor, obviously, and there's some expressed anxiety on the part of my wife and my kids, as you can imagine. But I think generally they know I'm going to be smart about what needs to be done.
Let's keep the mask on now. Don't take it off. You're dealing with E-bola. E-bola.
I'll make sure that I'm safe, as well as the folks that I'm taking care of are safe.
But training doesn't happen overnight. The challenge is keeping pace with the fast-moving epidemic.
Oh, it's fast-moving. It's not slow-moving. It's fast-moving. Epidemic. Oh, wow. How about that? It's an epidemic.
We can run 35 to 40 students per course. We can run one course per week. We intend to run a course every week until the demand goes away. And if that takes a year or two, we'll run it for a year or two.
A single infection control lapse can result in an infection of a healthcare worker. So we really want to make sure that it's done well, and that's why we're doing this detailed, in-depth training for anyone who wants to go over and assist with the response as an initial training. But also, the stakes are so high in Africa.
Hey, why don't you look at the flag in the background there with the gold fringe? Hey, I wonder if you know what that means, the gold fringe flag.
If we don't stop it in West Africa, the risk of it spreading to other parts of Africa is very great.
The domino effect. Yes, viruses are like dominoes in Africa, and eventually the dominoes come to America.
And if that happens, it could be around for years and a global threat for years. And that.
Oh, okay. That's laying the foundation for what we're seeing right now. Could be around for years, could be a major threat, but it's not E-bola.
Would have impact on how we do medical care in this country. That would have impact on travel and.
Okay. Either this is a prophecy or predictive programming. Are you not seeing these very things right now?
Trade and economies and political stability. So the stakes are very high.
Those high stakes drive the CDC effort. But the question remains, can the agency...
Okay, when you see someone on the phone like that, that's you receiving the message. That's me receiving the message. The phones are very symbolic. A lot of the stories have a cell phone. Somebody's calling somebody else that subconsciously says to you, go ahead, tell other people, reflect it back. That's your 33.
Move fast enough to combat the worst Ebola outbreak the world has ever seen.
Online, you can hear more from the healthcare workers we talked to on what's going through their minds as they prepare to go to West Africa. That's at pbsnewshour.org.
Notice the colors, the purple, the blue, and most likely that is certainly a man. All right, now what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at some things here. We're going to take a look at there's the CDC's disease detectives respond to 2014 Ebola outbreak. Now, what does Ebola mean? There's the Ebola River in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now over here, look, it's almost like a snake feature, like a serpentine river coming, the Ebola virus coming from the Ebola River, or coming from a serpentine type of a geography layout. But we're going to look at the meaning of the word Ebola. Okay, all right, there you have it. Bola is what? Weapon. A weapon consisting of 2 or more heavy balls secured to the ends of 1 or more strong cords, hurled by the Indians and gauchos of southern South America to entangle the legs of cattle and other animals, and maybe to entangle the legs of human beings, maybe to entangle your mind. It's a mind weapon. It's an E-bola. E for 3. All right? E for 3. It is a mind weapon, a bola, that goes right into your mind. Do you want it there? You've got to decide now if that's what you want. Let's go back here to another vid. Okay, I'm going to just show you the opening of this vid. It's a CDC vid. It has a lecture called We Were There. But I'm just going to show you the opening part of it and then conclude this little time here together. Okay, did you notice the old-fashioned way that films were once started? Many, many films years ago were started with a countdown backwards. And if you notice, the almost looked like a clock, and it was sweeping around, and the numbers and the figures and the beeps. That is a hypnotic, entrancing means to get you to let go of rationality and to go into that hypnotic state. I'm surprised it was on there, because a lot of films used to have them and they don't see too much of them now, but you see more sophisticated techniques to get you into that hypnotic state. Okay, what did you just see there? A globe. What's the globe all about? Well, the globe is the Baal, or the Baal, meaning the devil. And it's also false information. We don't live on a globe. We don't live on a big ball. It's just a flat plane, period. Okay, there's the spray. There's the spray. They used to spray DDT all over the place in the name of getting rid of bugs, and what they were doing was putting toxins on children, toxins on grown-ups. Now here's the expert, here's the science. Take a look at it. This is science now, and you better realize most of what you're told is science is pseudoscience, false science. Okay, there's more flashing to get you into that entranced state. Vaccines. It's all about promoting vaccines. You don't want to look like that, do you? You don't want your children to look like that, do you? Well, you better get vaccinated. And that's the ploy behind a lot of this, to introduce vaccines to an entire population, to scare the living daylights out of them so they get vaccinated. Okay, we're going to bring out the magnifying glass. There's something I want you to see, because you're a disease detective now. And with the magnifying glass, take a look at the tree. That is the tree of life, the Kabbalah tree of life. And take a look. You see the, quote, roots, but you're seeing a reflected reality. And basically, what I was told by a really good and informed source, that usually like the reflected reality is like only about 1/3 or 33% of the actual reality. Now, I'm not sure that figures in here now. It might, but the idea is the reflected reality is not exactly even what the demonic forces and the ones who project it, but it's 33%. So if you get 33% of the nonsense, you're done. You're done. You're done. So don't get any of the nonsense. Be a smart, wise individual. Realize that everything in front of you is a show. It's television with actors. It's nonsense in the name of science. And you're going to be safe. You're going to be just fine. E-bola, E3-bola weapon was meant to get you started in the direction of being afraid of viruses, and the virus that's in front of you now called coronavirus is just as phony. It's just the common cold. Period. Just the common cold. Hear me, don't hear the news media. They are reflecting a nonsense reality to you, and if you take it, you'll be frightened. The peace of the Lord be with you. End of video.